everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the middle of my workday again. I think last time we visited we were here at this same place doing some crochet. Well, I mean, we're still doing crochet today, but this is actually Tunisian knit with a crochet hook, which Tunisian is crochet, but this is the Tunisian, or this is the knit stitch with no return, or the Tunisian knit stitch with no return. I think I like that, Tunisian knit stitch with no return, because there is no return stitch on this. Anyway, if you remember this project from the other day, I believe I had just started the yellow band on this. I haven't worked on this a whole lot. I've just been working on this a little bit today while I've been here. I have finished up the yellow and I have started a blue. I am ready to go back to the yellow. But I thought I would show you what I'm going to do with this right here. Because when you change colors, obviously the next color, I mean, maybe I should stagger it, I don't know, but I can fix this too. So first thing I'm going to do, so I don't lose any stitches, is I'm going to take this little extender thing off, set it aside, and I am going to put the stopper on this. And the reason I put the extender on there is because I don't want to mess up the end of this connector on this cable. So that's why I do that. I'm going to turn this way. I've already clipped my yarn for the yellow because I think that looks so cool on the back. I'm still going to call this Tunisian knit, even though it has no return. But anyway, a few rows back, I did finish my, yellow stripe, or two stripes actually. There's two stripes there of yellow. But I still have this hole here. And what I'm going to do is I tied my beginning string to my blue strand when I got started. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to stick my needle in here. Actually, I'll do it here. Or it's not a needle. This is a crochet hook. Crochet hook. This is an actual double-ended Tunisian crochet hook. But I'm going to pull that through there like that. That will give that side the illusion that it is, a finished stitch. There will be no gap there. We're just going to tie a knot. Simple like that. Make sure it's not too tight. See? No more gap. And I'm not too worried about that right there. I think it's fine. So we're going to tie this again. And no, I'm not going to weave in the ends. I'm just going to snip them. Because that's what I do. Snip them like that. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. And it covers up the hole, or the gap there. So, perfect, yeah. So if you didn't watch the previous video, I'm sorry guys, I gotta turn this fan on. I got a little fan here beside me. It's probably gonna be noisy, but I cannot work without it. It is super warm today. I got it on low. But if you weren't here the other day when I shared this, then I will share again. This is actually a extended Tunisian crochet hook. I guess you would say, doing Tunisian crochet. However, I am not doing the return stitch. If I was doing the return stitch, I would have, joined here like this. I could use yellow or a contrasting color and go back, and there's all kinds of things that I've done with, doing this in the round in this method. But I decided to try to do this without the return stitch to see if it would work, because in my experience, unless you do increases or decreases when you go in the round, and I don't know about working it flat. I have not experimented or tried that yet. Actually, you can if you work it flat, but I have not. Oh, where I was going with that, I am only successful in pulling out the return stitch if I, pardon me, if I have not done any increases or decreases. There we go. So I had this bright idea to see if I could actually do a knit stitch with this. It's basically kind of just like knitting. Oh yeah, I was going to change to yellow. Let me grab that yellow. And I'm not going to cut the blue. It's actually an aqua. This is an aqua and yellow, famous aqua yellow combination that I've been using in quite a few projects. But anyway, this is basically just the same as knit. And Tunisian crochet kind of sort of is kind of like knit with the return stitch. So yeah, I'm excited about this. So here we're going to join this yellow. I'm just going to pull the loop through, pop that off the end, and we'll tie this here in just a minute. Oh no, wrong color. There we go, yellow, not blue. Just like when you're knitting. I mean, you could go through the front if you wanted, but I find it easier to go through the back because the Tunisian knit stitch, you go in between like that. So basically that's what I'm doing. I'm pulling up my loop, but I just don't have the return stitch. The cable holds my loops until I get back around. So yeah, we are basically at the same place we were however many videos ago that I shared this with you. I have done this, well, I think there's 6 rows of blue at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'll be 6 blues. There's 5 here. There's 6 here. So I'll do another 2 rows of yellow and then I will switch back to the blue. And to the viewer that asked me about doing it flat, yes, well, I don't want to say yes because honestly, I want to say yes, you can do it working it flat. I think I have done it working stuff flat, but not, you know, I'm not positive. And this, for me, whoops. Okay, so did you see what I did? I just went ahead and slipped that stitch. It's not a big deal. You just put it back on. You just put it back on. You just put it back on and crochet it off. It's getting kind of warm. My yarn is sticking to my fingers. My fingers are getting sweaty. Anyway, you get the picture. And this, I'm going to do this the same way as I would a regular knitted hat. However, though, instead I am using a crochet hook. So much easier for me. I am more relaxed doing it this way than I am with circular knitting needles. It's just, and I think it looks better, honestly. So what I'm going to do with this, because obviously this is going to create a hole like I did down here on the other one, I'm just going to tie my yellow to the blue or the aqua like that, just not too super tight. That way it gives it that little bar like if it would have been just regular. And then yeah, see, there is really no gap there wherever it's at. Oh, it's right there. There's no gap there. Whew, my fingers are so sweaty. And I've tried knitting this way with knitting needles, holding the yarn in my left hand like I do when I crochet, and it is a disaster. My stitches are so inconsistent and loosey-goosey and tighty that it just doesn't work that way for me. But I can't imagine, you know, doing this with the crochet hook like I do with knit, because at that point I would be doing this. And I just can't imagine doing that. That's just weird with a crochet hook. So yeah, I think this is a total game changer for me, doing this. Oh my goodness, I realized I did put the thingy on there. I don't want to mess that up. I don't want to mess that up. There we go. I think my experimentation with this is a total game changer on making knit hats and quite possibly other knit projects, at least in the round. I do plan on experimenting with doing things flat with this type of method, because I mean, you do things flat with knitting, right? And I would think you could do that. I'm thinking you could put the stopper on one end and do your knit this way and take your hook off, put the stopper on this end and go back that way. That's what I'm thinking, but I want to finish this hat first before I experiment with the flat, because I have been wanting to do a picture washcloth. I have tried so many times to knit a picture washcloth. And if you don't know what that is, it's the washcloths that the purl stitches on the front side make a picture of whatever. I have so many of those printed off, but every time I try to do it, I get lost. I lose stitches, my stitches get all messy and wonky, and it does not look good at all. But I am thinking that yes, you can do this with a flat project as well. So that will be my next experiment once I finish this hat, because it's obvious that I did knits and purls down here, so it's got to be possible. It has to be possible. Let me get back around to the beginning yellow stitch. This goes so much easier, you guys. This is like a worry-free project for me. I don't know what the big difference is, other than I'm using a hook on one end instead of 2 needles. So if you've got like those fancy interchangeable ones that you can do either hooks or needles with, you could do a needle on one end and a hook on the other and see which end works better for you for doing the stitches. Because really all this is doing on this end where the extender is holding it. Did I just simplify knitting, or did I complicate crochet? I'm not sure. Yeah, I need to get my fingers back in front of that fan. Whew. And I thought about, it was too late for this last section of blue that I did, but I thought about getting the dice out and rolling the dice to see how many rows of blue to do. I'll probably do more of this because, like I said, I like knitting. Knitting with needles and is stressful. This is less stressful. But anyway, I personally have issues with, I'm not OCD or anything, but I do not like mismatched rows on my projects. So maybe that's something I need to try for the next hat that I make, because I will most likely make another hat. Just roll the dice to see how many rows I make of, each color. It could be quite interesting and it could be quite uninteresting. But just using the 2 colors. I don't want to do too many colors. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. That's how it's turning out for me. Let me know down in the comments below if you would be interested in me doing an experiment with going with a flat project instead of in the round project. And I will see you hopefully soon in my next video.